I'm going to be trying out some products from Xmondo, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle. I'm a licensed hairstylist with over 20 years of experience, and on this channel, I use those years of experience to help you have healthy, happy hair. So the products that we're trying out today are the Xmondo Wavetech, the Wave Foam, then Salty Sea Salt Spray. And you might be wondering why I chose these two products, why I'm not trying more from the full line or doing a full wash day, and there's several reasons for that. The big one is budget. I mean, these are not cheap products, and in order to try a wide variety of different things, I will limit the products that I'm trying from each brand. So I pick out ones like this. Usually styling products is where I like to start because they're going to give me the most visually noticeable results, especially on camera to where you can see, versus the shampoos and conditioners really aren't going to be something that you can see very well on camera or in the video. It's going to be something that I would feel more than see. Also, I tend not to try out and use a wide variety of shampoos and conditioners. And in fact, I have a go-to shampoo and conditioner combination, my Verb Ghost shampoo and my Moroccan Oil Moisture Repair conditioner. That tends to be a really good foundation for anything else that I put on my hair. So I tend to use that combination most of the time when I'm washing my hair. I might vary it up a little bit here and there because I do like other shampoos and conditioners as well, and I have mentioned those in my favorites videos. But for the most part, I really do stick with that. And because I know what that foundation does to my hair, that foundation of the shampoo and conditioner, I can then isolate what the styling products are doing for my hair versus not knowing if the results that I'm getting is because I'm using the whole line together or if it's because of the styling products. And then another reason why I don't like to try entire wash days out all at once is because a lot of times some brands will have something that they might refer to as a complex, like a combination of certain ingredients or something like that that they have that's kind of patented for their brand, and they will carry it throughout all of their products. And I find that sometimes these complexes or these combination of ingredients can get to be a little bit much when carried out throughout every single product that I'm using. And I actually talk about that a little bit more, and you can kind of see the results in this video right up here, my review of Trey Luxe. So if you want to check that out. And not all brands have that issue where it's too much of a good thing all the way across. A lot of times it isn't. It just depends on the brand, it depends on the product, and then it also is just going to vary between individuals. Some individuals, that type of thing works for their hair because it's what their hair needs, and then with other people it may not. So for me, I just like to test out the styling products first, and then if I like what I see with the styling products, even if it's something that doesn't work for my hair or work really well for my hair type, if it's something that's really good quality, it will still make me want to explore the rest of the brand so I can kind of see what other things they have that might work well for my hair. Let's go ahead and get started, and we're gonna start with the foam. And now the way that Brad does it, or I've seen him do it, and I've also seen reviews where they've copied what he does, is he puts it on the comb and then goes in from there. I'm not too sure how I feel about that, but we'll give it a try. We'll do a couple of pumps. It seems like it would be, I don't know, messy, maybe wasteful, but we'll find out. So we're just going to I'm starting kind of sparingly because I really don't want this all over the floor, and most of it stayed on the comb. So I'm not too much of a fan of this. Maybe it's the comb too, I don't know, but I still have more on the comb than what I think I have in my hair. So I think instead of going through like that, because that's just really weird. Okay, so as I'm kind of combing through this, it's creating more foam on the comb, which isn't that bad. I mean, sometimes these foams do this sort of thing. They do eventually go away, but I think I'm actually gonna switch over to just applying it with my hands, and then I will distribute it through my hair with my detangling brush. I think that's gonna be a better way to go about it. Now this foam is pretty light and airy, and when I emulsify it, it gets kind of a nice creamy texture, so I'm liking that. And ordinarily I would do section by section and do brush styling, but lately I've been doing kind of a more lazy summer hairstyle, and I did it in this video right here if you'd like to check it out. And since this is a foam and that's kind of what I've been doing for my lazy hairstyle, we're gonna go ahead and just use the foam and then follow it up with the sea salt spray, because I'm not really a one and done kind of person. Most of the time, one product just doesn't do everything I need it to do or offer enough hold. This is supposed to do that, but also I have seen, or did see on his website, I believe, recommendations of mixing that or layering that with Salty, or layering it with the curl cream that he has. I didn't get the curl cream because I really haven't been using those a whole lot lately, because like I said, I've been doing a lazier routine, but also because I've been trying out a bunch of salt sprays for an upcoming video. So I'm just grabbing more of this and putting it on the other side. I think I grabbed like a nice palm-sized amount. And then with what I have on my hands, and then as I'm running it through, I'm getting some put back on my hands, and I'm just bringing it up to the roots, because I do want some of the product up there to help with hold and with some volume and some lift. And I also don't want my roots kind of plastered and stuck to my head. So this also helps to kind of lift those roots off my head. And then just to make sure it's nice and evenly distributed, I'm going through with a brush, and I'm again brushing out away from my scalp in order to avoid any kind of getting hair plastered to my head. Okay, so as I'm brushing through this, you can see there's a lot of foam in there and almost looks lathery like shampoo. I'm not bothered with this. Like I said, some foams do this. It's not usually too big of a deal. So when I'm feeling it in there, it doesn't feel too bad or like I have too much going on. So as you can see, it is kind of clumping and holding together, which is really nice. That's something that you really want to see, and something that these foams are pretty good at, especially even still like running your fingers through or running a brush through, they'll still be able to kind of form clumps. And then if we go like this, we get some more clumps showing up as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of continue on around and kind of scrunch it a little bit, which also helps to work it into the hair. And with that applied, we're gonna add some Salty. Everything's applied, so far so good. We don't have any frizz or anything like that, so we're gonna go ahead and diffuse, and then I'll be right back. Here we are fully dried, and let's take a closer look. And you can see I have minimal frizz. It's not frizz-free, but I never expect anything to be frizz-free, because frizz is a part of curly, wavy life. It just is. And as far as how everything else is looking, so I don't have a ton of definition, and I can already tell that this has not got a lot of hold. However, for summer hair, for basically just carefree summer wavy hair, this is perfect. I'm totally fine with this. In the summer, I usually throw my hair up in a ponytail pretty quickly anyway, so I really don't worry about lots of definition or lots of hold in between wash days, because it is just gonna go up right away anyway. Now, ordinarily with my reviews, I show day 2 and day 3 results. I know for a fact that this is not gonna last until day 3. And like I said, in the summer, I usually throw it up anyway, so that's likely what's going to happen. It's really hard for me to leave my hair down for 3 days in a row to show a review. But like I said, this hold for me is a very soft, light hold. For finer hair, because my hair is coarse, for those of you who don't know, my hair is coarse, it's high density, it's really heavy. So on my hair, this is a lighter hold, but for finer hair, I can see this giving a little bit more hold, and this is super lightweight. I feel like I have nothing in my hair, and you saw that when I was combing through it, there was all that foam, and that disappeared. It doesn't feel producty at all. I have some nice shine, which I love. and the salt spray did not leave like a really gritty feeling at all. Like I don't feel like I have anything at all in my hair right now. It just feels like nice healthy hair, which I'm all about. And then as far as the fragrance goes, like I don't know, I suck at describing fragrances, so I can't really say what all the notes and all that are. But to me, it smells like a salon, which I love. To me, a salon smells like home because I spent 20 years doing hair. I no longer work behind the chair, and there are things about working behind the chair that I don't miss, but there are a lot more things that I do miss about working behind the chair, and the smell of the salon is definitely one of them. I really like the smell, so I am all about the fragrance in this. I think it's a great fragrance, and I do think that the products are excellent quality. I think they're both really, really great products. Like I said, my hair feels really, really good and really healthy. One of the things that I really don't like about some reviews is when a product doesn't work for a specific person's hair, or for whatever reason, or if it's not the results that they were going for, they just automatically say that it's a really bad product. It's not necessarily a bad product, it's just not a good product for you. Or it might not work with your hair type, or it just might not even work well for the results that you're trying to achieve. Because that's important too. If you're going for lots of definition and lots of hold, and you want as much longevity between your wash days as possible, you're not going to choose the same type of product as you would if you're looking for lots of volume and lots of light, fluffy, bouncy, airy curls. Those are going to be a completely different set of products. So that's something to keep in mind too when giving reviews or even watching reviews, is that it might not be anything wrong with the product. It just might not be the right product for the person or the right product to get the results that you're going for. Now, the directions on this, like the directions on many products, say to put on damp hair. Most of the time, I don't put products on damp hair because a lot of times that will cause more frizz. For me, it may not be the case for everybody, but for me, most of the time when it says damp, I usually have my hair be pretty wet, because otherwise I'm just gonna get a lot of frizz to start with, and it's just only gonna get worse from there. However, this one I think would actually work really well on damp hair, like it says. I did soaking wet hair, and I can tell with what I'm feeling that, and what I felt when I was putting it in there. If my hair had been damp instead of as wet as it was, I probably would have gotten a little bit more hold out of it and a little bit more definition than what I currently have. Not that what I have currently is bad. This is perfect, carefree summer hair for me. I'm totally fine with what I got out of it. However, I will probably be trying this on damp hair to see what I can get out of it. And now I haven't put any serum in, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And because these are the only two Xmondo products that I got, I'm gonna use my Verb Ghost Oil because it is pretty weightless and it's just my favorite. I usually just do one pump. That's all that's needed. I really don't need a ton of this. And this usually kind of helps tame down the frizz and seal everything in. And my hair just feels really soft. It's kind of nice. Although my hair tends to be, even though it's coarse, it tends to be super soft and slippery. Now, a lot of people think that if you have coarse hair, it means that you have rough hair. That's true for some people who have coarse hair, but not all of us with coarse hair have rough hair. Some of us have cuticles that are nice and smooth and flat, and so we wind up with very slippery, soft hair, even though it's coarse. Coarse or fine is in reference to the diameter of the individual hair strands, and each one of my hair strands is large, which is what makes it coarse. Okay, and now I'm gonna fluff this up because this is gonna give me a little bit of volume, I can tell. And yes, it definitely gave me a lot more volume. And I think I'm gonna actually spray some more of this in now that my hair is dry. So salt spray can be used on both wet or damp hair and dry hair. And using it on dry hair can really help kind of amp up the texture and give more of a beachy look. And since I've kind of already got a carefree beachy look going on, let's just continue on with that and spray a little bit more in. And then just kind of scrunch it in to kind of encourage the texture to show up a little bit more. And the nice thing about this is that this is not sticky at all. So as I'm doing this, you can see that nothing is sticking to my hand. So, you know, I'm not causing more frizz by putting this in my hair dry. So now I'm gonna do the other side. Okay, so that's applied and I just let it air dry for a little bit before I go ahead and fluff it up. But it did give me a little bit more texture and definition around my face, which is mostly where I sprayed it. And here's what it's looking like when it's all fluffed up, and I'm really liking that as well. So I feel like it definitely kind of encouraged those curls a little bit more and gave me a little bit more texture to my hair, which I'm really liking. The whole thing is just really good for a carefree summer hair or a carefree beachy vibe. And I am all for it because that has really been the look that I have been absolutely loving lately. I'm just not interested in spending a ton of time on my hair and worrying about it being completely frizz-free and perfect, whatever that is, for however many days. I'm fine with this because, like I said, most often it usually goes up because it is in the upper 90s here, potentially in the hundreds sometime this week for temperature. It's just too hot. It's too hot. And I'm perimenopausal and there's hot flashes and sweat, and no, we're just not going to go through all of that. And I mentioned this in that other video, my summer hair routine. So for what I've been liking, this is a great look. For those of you who are also all about the carefree summer look or the carefree beachy vibe, you'll probably like this as well. And in the future, I will definitely be playing around with this. I will try applying it to damp hair instead of wet hair. I could add some hairspray in after putting it in, or gel, or both if I really wanted to increase the longevity. So this to me is kind of a versatile type product because I can get it to do this, and I could probably add other things to it to get it to last a little bit longer or have a little bit more definition. I also think that this would probably work really well for refreshing day 2 hair. So I'll probably come back on here tomorrow and do that because I think this is probably going to work best on damp hair versus wet hair, like I mentioned. So I'm gonna test that out by coming back on here tomorrow, doing a little bit of a refresh and just making my hair slightly damp and then putting this in, and then but a smaller amount because I already have some in here. Getting it wet will probably reactivate it because that's typical with a lot of products. They can be reactivated by just getting your hair wet. But I'm gonna stop babbling for now and I'll see you tomorrow. So it's day 2 and all I've done is let my hair out of the bonnet that I sleep in and then let my hair settle for a little bit, and this is what we're looking like. And I actually really like how it's looking today. Like there's a few wonky bits that kind of want to stick out and do something strange, but overall, this is not bad for second day hair. I'll give you a close-up look of the frizz, and they're just very minimal frizz, especially for day 2. And I do have stretched out waves and whatnot, and that's to be expected because I did put it up in a bun, and also this is a lighter holding foam. So I knew I wasn't gonna get a whole lot of longevity out of it. Plus, my waves and curls were looser yesterday anyway than what they normally are if I use a more firm hold product. But overall, this is looking pretty good. I am liking this for just really carefree summer beachy looking hair. And if I hadn't already promised that I was going to refresh with the foam today, I probably would just spray on a little bit more of the Salty Sea Spray and scrunch it up a little bit and then go and just be done and just let my hair kind of do its thing because I am really liking this kind of lived in, looser, wavy, kind of crazy, carefree look. I've been using the word carefree a lot. Probably I'm trying to justify being lazy this summer, but that's okay. There's no rule that says we need to put in 5 hours of work on our hair to make it look good. No rule says that. So let's go with carefree / lazy and call it good. And then also my hair is feeling really, really good. It doesn't feel dried out. I don't feel like I've got really producty hair or anything. So if you're worried about the salt spray drying your hair out or making it feel really gritty and kind of gross, it doesn't do that. Not at all. My hair feels pretty darn good, but I can definitely still notice the effects that it has based on the texture that I'm seeing, and I'm actually getting much better texture today than yesterday. Not surprising, because that is something that just kind of naturally happens anyway, whether you put a specific product for texture in it. There are a lot of products out there that actually try to mimic second and third day hair results on wash day. So things like waxes or pomades or something like that that kind of give a little bit more texture to the hair. Those are things that are mimicking to a certain extent second and third day hair, and giving it, even some products even give like a matte look to mimic like the dirty lived in kind of grunge, 90s grunge look type thing, which honestly I kind of miss playing around with a lot of those products. And the 90s were great for those types of texture products, but I've noticed 90s stuff coming back in for the past few years. So I don't know, maybe we'll have a revival of 90s hair as well. That's enough babbling. Let's get on to refreshing this hair with the Wavetech foam. And now this is the original foam. He does have a extra hold foam, which after trying this, I will probably try that as well, so I can see how the two compare and how much hold that one has, because I do like hold. I do like more firm hold sometimes. Just because I'm stuck in a carefree, light hold, summer, easy, lazy phase right now doesn't mean that's always going to be the case. There are going to be times where I'm going to want firm hold again. So I do want to give that a try. Plus some other products of his look pretty interesting. He's got a refreshing spray, and I think I want to try that. So anyway, what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to give my hair kind of an all over mist with water. I don't want to completely re-wet it. I just want it to be a little damp, because I want to see how this foam behaves on damp hair. I do think it's actually going to work a little bit better on damp hair than what it did on my soaking wet hair, because my soaking wet hair probably diluted it quite a bit. And there are some products that do work better with soaking wet hair. One is the In Shower Style Fixer by Curlsmith. That one works much better on completely soaking wet hair, but then there are others that work really well on damp hair. It's just a matter of finding what works best for each product. So if a product doesn't work the way you first try it, or the way that it says on the packaging to try it, then just tweak it a little bit. Play around with it before you completely write it off. Sometimes changing the amount of water you have in your hair can make all of the difference. And I can feel these products reactivating already, so I'm really not gonna need a whole lot to refresh with this. So we're gonna do a pump of the foam. And I'm not sure if I showed you this yesterday or not. I think I spoke about it, that it was light and dense and kind of watery-ish. There's enough moisture in here that's why I think this is gonna work really well. And I'm just gonna smooth it over and then scrunch it up. And you can see it kind of bringing some of that back to life a little bit. One more pump. We're gonna get kind of the back here a little bit more. Okay, and then one more pump for this side over here. That's all the products that I'm gonna wanna put in there, but I might add water in a couple of spots where I didn't get enough to start with. You can see it already making a huge difference over here. All right, and I'm also going to add a little bit more of the salty spray, because like I said, this does not leave your hair feeling really producty or gross. And then I'm gonna add one more product. This one isn't an Xmondo product. It's going to be the Surface Impulse Finishing Spray. And the reason why I'm adding this is because I am going to diffuse this dry rather than letting it air dry. And this is gonna help keep the frizz down while I'm diffusing. And then how I'm gonna diffuse my hair is I'm gonna start by hovering it around first to get that hairspray to set, so that I can then start putting my hair into the bowl of the diffuser and finish drying it the rest of the way. That way the hairspray is gonna kind of hold it, so that as I'm finishing up the drying process, it's going to keep frizz from forming too much, because whenever I do a refresh like this and use a diffuser to dry my hair, I definitely get a lot more frizz drying it on with the diffuser on day 2 than I do on day 1, or even day 3, day 4, whatever day that I am diffusing that isn't wash day. I always get more frizz when I diffuse it than what I do on my wash day. Here's the finished results. I love my second day results. Honestly, I like these results better than my first day. I feel like I got more actual curl to my hair, and my hair now feels like it has a little bit more hold, partially because I did put in the hairspray, but also because of using the foam on just damp hair, and most of my hair was even dry, so it was only slightly damp. So I feel like I got the most out of this on damp hair, so I'm definitely going to be experimenting with that on wash day and letting my hair dry a little bit before putting this on and seeing how that works. And I think this is probably my most favorite refresh ever. I normally actually get a ton more frizz in my refreshes and my curls look wonkier, and it's flatter. And this one, I have volume, I have curls, it's better. I like it. This is probably my favorite refresh ever. I think I already said that. Yes, I already said that. But it's true. And I'm not saying this because I'm sponsored. Xmondo, Bradmondo, they don't even know who the heck I am. I'm not sponsored. I wasn't given this. I bought it myself. But yeah, I'm really liking this. Like I said, I like my second day results better than my first day results. And not only is this the first time I've ever liked a refresh, this is the first time I've actually liked a refresh with foam. And ordinarily, I can't stand it. I don't think I will ever be able to like a refresh with foam on dry hair. But on hair that's been slightly misted with water, it works perfectly. I also think that this would be great over hair that is steamed. So I oftentimes use a clothes steamer to get a little bit of steam in my hair. And that is, if I refresh at all, that is my more preferred way to refresh, is just to use steam. And I think if I were to use the steam and then put this over the top of the steam, I would also get really good results. And if you have fine, easily weighed down hair, you're gonna be able to use these with no problem. They're both very lightweight and are not gonna weigh your hair down at all. And as far as the fragrance lingering and being problematic, I really am not having any issues with it at all. And I'm somebody who can get a migraine from fragrances if they linger too long, if they're too overpowering. I don't feel like these are very overpowering. It didn't really linger. Like I said, they smell like a salon, and I really like that smell, of course. I mean, I spent 20 years in that smell, so I'm very used to it, and it's very nostalgic for me, so I love it. And my hair just smells like fresh, clean hair. And I am really liking the way that it looked. Did I mention that I really like the way that it looks right now? I'm really liking the way that it looks right now. Yeah, I am very happy with this. Like I said, it doesn't even feel like I've got a bunch of like, you would never know that I put as much stuff in here as what I have in here because it doesn't look like it and it doesn't feel like it. It's just, yeah, I like it. Okay, anyway, enough about that. I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this video up here. Hopefully you found this review helpful. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.